Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi, hello, how are all of my royalty? Let's grab some petty tea, boiling hot or freezing cold. Let's begin. Okay, this is kind of a patriarchy type of topic and family households and red pill, why a lot of men are upset with women because we have lost a lot of interest in dating some of them, especially because the reasons they want to date us and how they want to use us and take advantage of us, but then they just expect us to accept and take it. Even if you look at some of the pastors in the church and how they take submissive as captive, victim, submissive as control and power. And yeah, it's despicable, dumb, and one reason why it kind of drifted me more spiritual than Christian. I'm still a Christian, but yeah, with some of it, I'm more spiritual, definitely. So let's begin because I keep hearing about this story about this guy who his the mother of his child left him with a 3-month old, and he just can't handle himself. He's at the point of crying and begging for her to come back because he can't handle the 3-month old on his own. Like, who you got like okay, because yeah, I'm gonna talk a lot about my dating nightmare situations. And okay, before I like dig into it, check out the Patreon because I like if you don't believe me with what I'm going to be talking about, I have screenshots that just show all the stories and all the examples that I say are truth. And I am continuously now downloading more and more pictures every day. And also know that I probably won't be done until the spring, but in more of the reality, it might not be until next winter. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I've been doing the math and looking at the amount, and it's a lot. So, and just know some of them are for free for you to look at. And then the lowest paying bracket is $2 because I want to make sure my disability community are able to afford it. I know how rough it is with medications, physical therapy, and then like equipment and so many of the other things we have to save up for on a monthly basis. So, and once in a while, you have a right to want a meal or fast food and things like that too. So I want to make sure you have as much money to yourself as possible. And also like the single moms, you know, it's like, yeah, so $2, I don't think that's bad. And I have a $4 one where I'm going to start doing stuff for that one in 2026. So, you know, yeah, check that out, especially with the catfish and the true crime stuff. But okay, now let's begin because, yeah, this guy, he can't handle his 3-month old. And it's really crazy how, after I broke up with Mr. No Heart, because, oh, God forbid, Mr. Lockakey has a daughter, he has a child. I kind of wonder how that, like, I wonder how the parenting part, especially when she was a baby, was because he couldn't take care of his own self. It's like he was still getting addicted to, yeah, just catch up if you don't know. But he was having tantrums, getting upset if I didn't jump when he said jump. And part of me wonders why, with some of these guys, it's like, do they think it's women's work because it's a power trip to them? And or having the baby will keep the woman in the house, keep them where at a distance to the point where they will always know where she is. because after breaking up with Mr. No Heart, who has two kids, but even, yeah, listen to the episodes because I already talk about his parenting. But do you know, especially like being an older woman and never been married, no kids and stuff, but with my education, a lot of men hate the education. And some of them even tell me, you wasted your money getting degrees when your job is to make children. Or because I want children, it's just because I haven't found a good enough man that I want children with. And I would never want to tell my children I'm sorry because I ended up making them with a egotistical, awful, terrible power trip like jerk who the only reason he wanted to date me because he hated me, and that he wanted to ruin my life, and in order to make sure he ruined my life was to have a kid with me, knowing that he was going to be irresponsible and not a good role model and not there when myself or the kids needed him at the end. So, yeah, yeah. So, I've had guys say, you don't need to have kids. You didn't have kids all this time. You won't need them. Just help me with mine. And like, especially there was this one guy who has five kids, and he was just like, "Oh, you're not gonna need kids. Just help me with mine." And Mr. No Heart, yeah, he has daughters, and yeah, he told at first when we first met, he knew I want to adopt, I want to foster, and he said that was okay. But ladies, watch out. Watch out. And this is one reason why I'm creating one of the items for the Etsy store. But make a contract. When a guy says something, have a journal of it, have him initial it. Because some of these men will say anything you want to hear and then later on say, I didn't say that. So, some advice that I have for you: when a man says something, log it, initial it, date it, be petty. And some people are like, oh, well, we don't have to do, you never know what you have to do. Because especially when it comes to marriage, people are like, oh, don't get a prenup. That means you're getting ready for a divorce. Half of marriages end in divorce, and you never know someone's true intentions, who they really are, like until you see the bad side. And so the advice I have to tell you, because Mr. Lockakey and Mr. No Heart owe me money. They do. And they took valuable time from me. Mr. Lockakey was determined to, at first, he pretended that he wanted me to finish my master's. Then he would threaten to punch holes in the wall if I like continued studying for a test or something. And then with back to Mr. No Heart, at first he was okay. He was like, oh, you want to adopt? You want to foster? Oh, that means you have a good heart. Yeah. That was like, yeah, I want to date you. You're so giving and caring. And yeah, but then once he had me as a girlfriend, oh, well, if you still want to adopt, it's over. I'm breaking up with you. I don't have any use for you. And he was like, you could just help me with my daughters. And it's like, I don't want any more kids. I was like, the kids that I have were a mistake. Do you know this man has said over 8 times, probably over a dozen times, but I know for a fact over 8 times, he called his own daughters mistakes. Yeah, yeah. And so after breaking up with him, meeting men with kids, but then they told me that I wasted my time and that I should have had kids back in the day. But then I'm like, okay, so okay, this is one thing I don't get. So, because men always want to blame the women, they never want to blame the man, but they want to blame the women. So, if a woman was trying her best to find a man who she's compatible with in order to have children because she was trying to be responsible, but then men tell women, it's like, and I know we women, we do have a time limit and everything, but it's like trying to be responsible within that time limit, trying to, because once you have that child, you're with that, like you have that connection with that man for the rest of your life. You can't exchange that his part of the DNA with somebody else. If that was possible, do you know how many women would do that? Some of these kids would probably have 5 or 6 different types of DNA within their system by now. You know. But it's like if a woman was taking her time, they blame us. But if for some women, they ended up maybe as teenage moms or really young moms, or they got married really young and then they realized soon after it was a mistake. So then they got a divorce, and but then they blamed them. Oh, you're a garden hoe. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Oh, you didn't take your time. Oh, you should have made better decisions. Oh, why did you do this? It's your fault. It's your fault. They don't blame the man. They don't blame the man. Always the woman. Either we do or we don't, but either way it's our fault. And so there's been some men though on the other side of the spectrum. The only reason they wanted to date me is because I don't have kids and they want to put a baby in me. But then they say they don't want to date a woman that has kids because they're not going to deal with another baby daddy, while some of these men have 2 or 3 baby moms. They have a collection of them. Yeah, they have a collection of baby mothers of children and things. But then they say, "Oh, well, you can help me with my kids too. I want to have a baby with you, and you can help me with my other kids. Oh, you're smart, so yeah, you can help my other kids be smart too." And or they see my goals and aspirations with my children's books and my candles, and well, back then it wasn't my candles, so mostly like my books and some of the other projects that I'm going to be getting back into, if not 2026, 2027. But next thing I know, they're like, wow, you can work and I'm going to stay at home. And but they're the ones with the kids. And then I tell them, well, okay, you have kids though, so you should be working so you can take care of them. No, no, but I mean, you enjoy what you're gonna do, so I could, but then you don't cook and clean either. So what's the point? Like, no, you need to work because you don't like to cook and clean, and you have a child you need to take care of. But now you're trying to place the cooking, the cleaning, the work, and everything on me. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And then they get mad at me, calling me selfish or saying, "Oh, that means you're not going to love me. That means you're not going to care about me enough," and blah 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 blah. To the point where I'm just like, "You're just a selfish, awful, terrible, like just patriarch, or the patriarchy's taking over your brain." Because with a lot of men, that's what it is. It's like they talk to other men and they want to prove themselves of who has more power. And for some reason, the more babies a man has, they feel like they have more power because it keeps a woman in a certain place. And so now that this one guy had to have his 3 month old for, I heard like a few days and stuff, he can't handle that. But then men expect women, because yeah, when you really think about a lot of men, I've met so many men who they want their women to stay at home. I've had guys on dating apps who tell me, "Oh, you're not going to work if you date me." And that's one reason why some of them say I wasted my money on my education, because they don't want a woman that has goals and aspirations. They want one that's just going to stay home and do as he says. That's not me. And then they try to say I must be trans or gay, or like I'm not really a woman and all this other stuff, because I am not going to be their version of the cookie cutter woman. I'm not. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to be who I want to be. And it's like I'm nowhere near traditional. It's like I want kids, but I also want to own my own business. I want to write my books and be a creative. And yeah, it's like I don't get it. If you guys get it, let me know. But I don't. Because this guy is like, 'cause so many men act like raising kids is not work. Because I've met men who say you're just gonna stay home and you take care of the kids and cook and clean and stuff, and ugh, like, I mean, if that's what you want to do you, boo. I'm happy for you. But I'm just like, ugh, because that's not for me. That doesn't fit my that doesn't fit my personality and the responsibility that I would want to do. A lot of red pill men hate. They don't want a woman like myself because money is freedom. And a lot of them don't, they want to make sure that they don't give the woman freedom. They've learned from history that the families, especially a woman wanting a divorce, became more popular once she had the money and the means to leave him because if he was treating her in a violent way, or because I'm even hearing how I believe it's Georgia, one of the southern states, where now they're creating a domestic violence list, but then men are blaming women. It's like, and like men, like be careful who you choose because these women are going to try to get you on the list. They're going to try their best to get on your nerves. Like, no, 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 because the most violent time in a certain type of relationship is when the woman's trying to leave. The most violent. If the woman is trying to leave, why won't the man just let her leave then? If the woman is trying to leave, she is not trying to get on his nerves. She is not trying to antagonize him. She is not trying to like be confrontational. She is trying to leave. But why is that the most violent? And a lot of the men, they don't want the women to have the job so that they can have the opportunity to leave. And when the woman finds another man that might treat them better, they get jealous and their power trip because that like strokes their ego the wrong way to the point where it's a damaged ego, damaged masculinity, damage like and then damaged self-image of themselves. They think just because the woman found someone that's going to respect them, treat them like a human, and treat them like someone they don't have to fear. Because some women are scared of the man that they ended up dating and marrying because they turned out to be monsters. Monsters, yes. And a lot of men, they think that taking care of kids isn't a job. They think cooking is not a job or cleaning is not a job because they don't want to do it. A lot of the things they don't want to do, the things that they want women to do to keep them in their place and to be able to say, see, she's doing what I want her to do. Because while on the dating apps, you do not know how many men have told me that cooking is like it's easy. Cooking and cleaning is easy. But then they don't want to do it. If it was so easy, why don't you do it? If it was so simple, why don't you do it? But then they say that, like a lot of them say they bring home the money, but then when it's like they expect a woman to either look a certain way, act a certain way, and all this other stuff, and but then when a woman would like to go on a trip or do certain things, it's like it's his money. It's like it's his money, but I'm I like I don't know. It's just there's certain things within the relationships where they just always blame women. And it's like everything can't be our fault. Because even when it comes to grape, they want to blame us and they say that we shouldn't dress a certain way, we shouldn't act a certain way, we should know when to not be in certain places and or we shouldn't hang out with a guy for a certain amount of time because we are just going to entice him. It's called he needs to control his emotions, his hormones, his well being, his mind, his manners. Like he needs to do that on his own. And if he's not able to do that, he needs to stay at home and get some therapy. He needs to get some help. But we're back at the like this one guy. It's like he can't handle that baby for a few days. He can't handle a 3 month old for a few days. But so many men say that's not real work, or they act like it, or they act like the when the woman takes care of the child, it's parenting, but when the man does, it's babysitting. this guy can't even handle babysitting. It's his own child, but he can't handle that. And I think it shows how much women do. So many men want to act like being a parent is easy, but maybe it's easy because you don't do enough of it. Maybe it's easy because you don't spend the time and you don't put in the effort and you don't help your wife or girlfriend or like whatever the relationship status is. Maybe it's easy because you're lazy when it comes to being able to dedicate a portion of your day and time. But then some of them are like, but I work all day. Holding down a house is a full time job. Making sure you have clean laundry, making sure you don't just have cooked meals. But guess what? You got to buy the groceries. And it's like there are great websites where you can order it to be shipped to the house, but you still got to go to the computer, pick everything out, order everything, make sure that you have the proper stuff for recipes and things like that. And then more than likely, you're still going to have to go to the grocery store to get the odds and ends that is not included in on the sites or whatever. And then it's like making sure you like if you need a new suit or socks or boxers or whatever, it's like that takes time. Even if it's over the computer, it takes time. And then the kids with the homework and making sure they're clothed and cleaned and everything and organized, making sure they communicate with the teachers takes time. Doctor's appointments, and especially like even with this, if the disability community, usually we have to have extra doctors in the care and everything like that, physical therapy for some of us, and knowing the times for the medications and things and the side effects or whatever. So then because with some there are side effects and things we can't consume or take or do around like after we take it. But a lot of dads out here, it's just kind of funny because I've been over the years, especially after I broke up with Mr. No Heart, just seeing how some of these men are reacting to either women working, like who take care of the kids, but then men who don't appreciate, and or men who act like it's nothing, and or even men who, there was this one video that I saw where the woman was taking a nap and the room was clean. It was beautiful and stuff. And I saw like, I mean, there's a basket of clothes, I believe, in the room, but the man came in the room and picked up the laundry, went towards the bed and poured it over her. And the woman woke up suddenly. She was like, "What? What?" And he was like, "Fold the laundry." And she was like, "I'm taking a nap." And he was just like, "Fold the laundry." And he would not leave her alone. It's like she can't take a nap. She can't be tired. I want to know, do they have kids? Because like a lot of men don't realize how exhausting it is, especially with a 3 month old, especially with babies, especially until those kids start at school. Like every year is like, because especially newborn babies and then teething. Wait until the teething. Oh, he better be so glad it's not the teething time just yet. And you know what? No, no. Leave him alone again when the baby's teething. Mm-hmm. Do that. I was a nanny to a baby right around, yeah, the teething. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You're not going to be able to take a nap. No, no. Mm-mm. But, like, even when they start talking to them as much as possible to help them with that, like, dissecting, the vocabulary and learning different things, showing them the colors. And I mean, it can be a wonderful experience because even while being a nanny, like teaching and showing and like even like going through like, I mean, well, there's some things that are fun, changing of the diapers and then vomiting and all this other, the bodily fluids and stuff like that. But there are great and amazing moments and things because even like while playing music and stuff, and all of a sudden it's like the baby starts dancing and stuff. It's like it's cute, it's adorable, and it's a memory you won't forget. And or taking the baby out for a walk, and it's like I tell them like the word puppy and stuff, and because like whenever the dog would pass by, and I'm like puppy dog, and then one of the days all of a sudden I hear the baby like baby's kind of point like kind of pointing and stuff, and he's like puppy puppy, and it's just like yes yes. So moments like that are amazing, and moments where dads need to be around, because it reminds me of the episode of Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, when they were, I think it was Mother's Day or Father's Day. I did an episode on it, so you can check it out right around those times, whatever. But they were asking dads. I think it was Mother's Day, but they were asking the dads about the information about their children, like who is your children's doctor, and who is their teacher, and what's their favorite color, when are your children's birthdays. All of the fathers got the questions wrong. Every single one. I think one dad got maybe one question right. Other than that, all the parents didn't know. And the children are looking right at their dads like, Dad, you know you're screwing up, right? Dad, you know you're showing that you don't know me. And but then there was one or two examples where the moms were there that too, and but it's like they first, I think they separated the mom, and so it was just the dad alone, I guess, to make sure that she didn't try to hint to him the answers or whatever. But then they brought the woman over, and oh, one of the questions was, who is each of your children's best friends? There was like three or four children, and he was guessing names, and like he would put his hand on one of the kids' heads and say a name, and the kids looking at him like, who's that? But then another kid was like, no, that's my friend. And so, but then the mom would come over, and he was like, okay, who's your kid's doctor? Bam, said it. What's their teacher's name? And she pointed at each one. This one's Miss this, Miss that, Mr. this, Miss like whatever. And then, oh, what are their best friends? Again, just boom, 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 each and every time. And you could like the dad's face change. He was like, I feel dumb. But it shows. A lot of men want to say it's not work, but when it's their turn to show up and show out for their children, it's disappointing in so many ways. And so seeing this man not be able to handle his 3-month-old daughter for just a few days is just an example of not being able to handle it. So many men say, oh, well, women were built for the get up. So is that why we can't, like, you want to keep blaming women? It's like, because you're not made for that. Like, you were made to be a leader of the house. Being a leader means being a father too. And father time is beneficial, because when people keep wanting to say like the young girls have mommy issues or parent issues or whatever, or daddy issues, yeah, it's like either one or both. It's like, don't you want to make sure you are not that daddy of the daddy issues? Don't you want to make sure you spent enough time with your child to the point where if your child is going through something, they will come to you instead of doing different things that they say kids with daddy issues have? If you're not ready to take on that role, or if you're always ready to blame her, blame the mom, then maybe you need to step back and look at yourself. Take a look in the mirror. Look at your reflection. Look at the identity that you're passing on to your children, because now your children are seeing like the role of a quote unquote mom and quote unquote dad. And would you be proud of yourself with that image? But thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.